This is my prediction for the next 6 months. Prediction date, August 5th, 2025. End date, February 4th, 2026. So starting us off on the world stage, we're going to head over to the India-China tariff situation, secondary sanction, whatever you want to call it. Firstly, I do not think that the China tariffs are going to stick. They're going to be negotiated down or possibly removed in exchange for China allowing American military manufacturers to have access to their rare earth metals. But I can't see them sticking. The India ones, they're going to stick. I think they're going to go up. I think they're going to stay. I don't think India has anything they could offer us, and I don't think they're that damaging to India anyway. But, I don't think that those China ones are going to stick. I just can't see it. And I think China cutting us off from their rare earth metals is actually a really big contributing factor to why Trump pulled that 180 on Ukraine support, because Ukraine has plenty of rare earth metals. The only way that I could see the India tariffs getting removed is maybe if the pharmaceutical companies lobby the hell out of Trump to removing them. But other than that, who knows? If the China tariffs do go into effect, I don't think there's going to be a huge shockwave in the market this time, like we saw the last time China had high tariffs put on them. I think people are just going to wait it out this time. Even if they seem like they're sticking, I don't think the big hit's going to come until like a quarterly earnings report and we see that certain companies are actually losing money as a result of these tariffs. Moving on from there, we're going to go into Russia, Ukraine. I've got 3 different predictions for what's going on with what I think is going to happen over the next 6 months. Firstly, the Battle of Pokrovsk. I think that battle's still going to be going on 6 months from now, with Russia partially or mostly controlling the city. That is, if Ukraine decides they want to turn it into another Bakhmut kind of situation. They might not, considering that Pokrovsk is already kind of useless since it's already cut off as far as like being able to move goods around and stuff. It's already been cut off from those roads. But who knows? They might really lock down on it and we might see a Bakhmut 2.0. Secondly, the drones. I think the frequency of these Ukrainian deep strikes using drones is going to increase, as it has been increasing over time. And I think it's going to increase a lot. It's not quite going to meet Russia's number of long-range drones into Ukraine, but it's going to be close. I think within 6 months, around February, it'll probably be somewhere close to like 2/3, or 2 to 3 kind of ratio as far as them launching back and forth with one another. Lastly, I think there's going to be some kind of major event in this war. It's just starting to feel like that over the next 6 months. Something like, when Ukraine blew up a bunch of those Russian bombers, or when they were sinking ships out in the Black Sea. I don't know. I just feel like something might happen. Russia certainly seems worried that Ukraine might go for some kind of offensive in the northeast, which I could see as well, but maybe not. A lot of people don't seem to think that Ukraine's even capable of an offensive right now. But I think something big is going to happen. I think they're going to get back in the news again here pretty soon. Next up, we got Pakistan and India. That ceasefire, it's going to ignite again. It's 100% going to. They're going to start fighting again, like soon, in the next few months after me recording this. The dry season in that area starts in October and goes until March. So that's when we're going to actually start seeing the effects of India locking down those dams and not allowing any water to get into Pakistan. That's when Pakistan's going to start being majorly water insecure, and they're just going to start fighting again. They're going to have no choice. As far as what the results of that war are going to be, I don't know, because India probably won't be too keen to listen to America in trying to call for a ceasefire. And Pakistan doesn't really have any incentive to stop fighting, considering that hundreds of millions of people are going to be water insecure. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I do know at the very least, they're going to start fighting within the next 6 months. Finally, for the world stage here, we're going to move over to the UK. Specifically talking about these protests that have been going on lately, the Britain First, Stop the Boats, whatever you want to call them, protests. I think they're going to be mostly gone. in the next 6 months with none of their goals being achieved. Something that Britain's proved very good at is cracking down on these kind of movements. And I don't know. I just don't think the British people have that fight in them anymore to take it the step further that they would need to take it. I think, honestly, they're just going to give up and move on. I mean, they're still going to be mad, but I don't think we're going to see this huge movement still ongoing in 6 months, and I don't think anything's going to come of it. There's no way the government's going to listen to them. Domestically, I don't have much to say about what I think is going to happen domestically, but I do have a few things I want to talk about. So the district situation, the redistricting going on in Texas, or the attempted redistricting, gerrymandering, whatever you want to call it. As of right now, the Democrat House members in Texas have been gone for, I think, 2 days at this point. They left the state to try to block this vote that's supposed to happen on this redistricting. I think the Dems are at least going to try to stay out of there for the 6 months needed or whatever. So they're going to try to stretch it out to December at least, and they're going to be able to afford it. People are going to be willing to pay for that, and I think they're going to successfully block it if they're able to do that. If they don't, they start coming back, so be it. The governor's been talking about like firing them and putting new people in or holding a snap election. I don't know. Everyone's talking about how he can't do that. And even if he does do that, just more Democrats are probably going to get voted into those districts, and then they're probably going to leave. So I don't see that doing anything. It just sounds like he's angry. One thing that I do think is going to happen, I think Trump is going to at least threaten to use federal officers to arrest them and bring them back to Texas. He's not going to do it. I hope he doesn't do it, because then that would bring federal and state law enforcement. Like, what would they do at that point? Are they going to like clash? Or the state law enforcement going to move to the side, even if the governor tells them not to let the feds in? I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen. But at the very least, if it goes long enough, Trump's going to start talking about, we're going to send the FBI to send them down to do their job, whatever. There's another thing going on with the districting, as far as the Supreme Court case that's currently ongoing in Louisiana. I do think that the Supreme Court is likely to issue a sweeping declaration as far as that case goes. I think it's very likely that they're going to do it, and they're going to say that race-based redistricting is a violation of the 14th Amendment. And if that's the case, then I don't know where we go from there. Does that mean that every single district in the country that's cited race as its main reason for drawing those districts, or any reason for drawing those districts, does that mean that they have to revert back to what the districts used to be shaped like? Even so, I don't think it's going to have either of these things. I don't think either of these things are going to have a very big effect on the future. They might, but I think at the very worst, we'll see a situation like where every state's going to redraw their districts, and then you will not see any more Democratic or any more like Republican representatives from blue states. You won't see any more blue reps from red states. Basically, I think that's what will happen, which is kind of scary. Sounds kind of like a bleeding Kansas situation. I don't like it, but that's what I think the worst is going to come of it. Finally, weather. Hurricane season is not yet in full swing. It's going to hit pretty hard, or it's going to either one. There's only two options that I see is going to come out of hurricane season this year, and I think it's either going to be one of the worst hurricane seasons that we've seen in decades, or it's going to be one of the lightest hurricane seasons that we've seen in decades. I don't think there's going to be any middle ground. It's either going to be like multiple category 5s or 4s or whatever, or it's just going to be like a wet fart. Nothing. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. These are my predictions for the next 6 months. I'll come back here and we'll find out if I'm right. I got a few more that I want to do. Specifically, I think the next one I want to do is about my predictions on space over the next few years. That one's going to be fun. It's a video I've always wanted to make. So yeah, thanks for watching.